What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, in regards to the left wing position, Deco is still so honed in and so in love with Luis Diaz to the point that he's ready to negotiate with Liverpool a direct swap deal between Luis Diaz and Raphinha, but some voices in the club are still very high on Nico Williams. We'll talk about that. Also on the Joaos staying as well. A lot of optimism is rising from the Joaos camp as well, from the players, Jorge Mendes, and again with Deco as well. Be interesting to see what Man City and Atletico Madrid, how they're feeling and how the negotiations will be taking place. Also have some updates around Bruno Guimarães and Kimmich as well. Some sale updates. We could be seeing Barcelona selling 3 of their summer signings from last summer this summer, as now the futures of Romeu, Iñigo Martínez, and Gundogan have risen some doubt. We have some updates on players staying as well, like Andreas Christensen, Jules Kounde, Marc Casado. Huge update on the future of Araujo. Some significant update for the first time in about 2 months or so. We do have some news around the club as well. Injury update on Frankie and Alejandro Balde, and of course the news of Barcelona returning to the 1-1 rule in La Liga. This week, La Liga will announce the salary cap around the entire league, and Barcelona will know what their margin is this summer transfer window. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, firstly, we do have some updates in regards to who Barcelona are really targeting in the left wing position and who is actually the #1 priority. Now, the Daily Express in the UK have come out saying that Barcelona sporting director Deco might try to tempt Liverpool into letting Luis Diaz leave this summer by offering Raphinha as part of the transfer. So originally we thought that Raphinha would be sold and that money would be used to bring in Luis Diaz. Instead, now we might even just give Raphinha plus cash to Liverpool for Luis Diaz. Now, I have no idea how Liverpool value Luis Diaz, but I think Raphinha and Luis Diaz have the same market value. I would, consider Raphinha an £80 million player right now, especially what he did for Barcelona over the past 2 seasons. I think Luis Diaz maybe just under that. So direct swap deal does make sense, but then what's the point from Barcelona's point of view? The whole point is for us to sell players to help us benefit from financial fair play, the salary margin, and then use that money elsewhere. So this operation will not benefit Barcelona whatsoever. And again, this kind of insistence from Deco on Luis Diaz isn't really giving, me personally as a fan much confidence. I don't know how you guys feel, but following this report, Tony Juan Martí came back in to give us some clarity, saying that Luis Diaz to Barcelona is unfeasible for the club at the moment. However, Nico Williams is still liked a lot, and he's more feasible of a target than Luis Diaz. Again, for me, it just ticks all the boxes. Nico Williams was absolutely sensational for Spain. I think when they faced Northern Ireland a few days ago, he was absolutely brilliant in that game, and you can see his connection with some of the Barcelona players, with Lamine Yamal, with Pedri, with Ferran Torres. It's a no-brainer. You could say yes, Spanish bias, and then they were a Spanish club, so I really don't care. But if Luis Diaz was better, I would say it. I think right now Nico Williams is better. And you look at the short term, medium term, long term, he's better as well, cheaper. And by bringing him in, you get to keep Raphinha, one of your top wingers as well. So just makes sense all around if you're being completely honest. But again, Deco has this kind of obsession with Luis Diaz. So, same with Laporta. Laporta, of course, liked Luis Diaz at his time at Liverpool. Again, we didn't make a bid for him when Liverpool were trying to sign him from Porto as well. So wait and see how things do shape out. I think, again, Luis Diaz coming in depends a lot on Raphinha. So if Raphinha stays, unlikely. If Raphinha goes, it does, of course, increases the chances. So wait and see how things turn out in that regards. But right now, it looks like it's going to be leaning towards more Nico Williams as a left wing target than it is Luis Diaz. Now, along with a left winger, Barcelona are also in the market, of course, to reinforce their midfield, and we have been linked with a few targets, but these are more so just general links, nothing really concrete. Now, firstly, Roger Toledo of Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that because Newcastle United have to sell players before June the 30th to comply with financial fair play laws in England, they might consider selling Bruno Guimarães, who has a release clause of £100 million, to Barcelona or another non-Premier League club for less than €80 million. This price could drop significantly if the deadline approaches, approaches, and Newcastle still needs to sell. The same thing can be said, by the way, for Amadou Onana of Everton. Is the exact same scenario, the exact same situation as well. They need to sell players before June the 30th. I think the clubs in the Premier League that need to sell are Newcastle, Everton, Aston Villa, and Leicester City. Those 4 teams need to sell, I think, around £60 million of players to comply with financial fair play, to give themselves freedom in the market come July the 1st. I think Bruno Guimarães is a fantastic player. I think, again, for 80 million, not worth it in my opinion. He's a very similar profile to Frankie de Jong. So Frankie de Jong is maybe, if we sell Frankie de Jong and we bring him in as a replacement, I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. But I think, again, way too similar of a profile. I would much rather, for less than 80 million, go for an Amadou Onana. Someone who's a bit different for a profile alone, of a natural pivot, you could say. That's something that we need, something that we're missing. Bruno Guimarães just, copy and paste of Frankie de Jong, copy and paste of Gundogan, even a copy and paste of Xavi, if you really want to, get into the fine nitty-gritty details of it. Again, a great player, but I personally wouldn't be going for him as they currently stand, especially for that price as well. If you're paying, upwards of 80 million for someone, you might as well go for someone who's a bit, who fits the mold a bit better. Again, Amadou Onana. I know Mendes isn't really a target, but him, for example, as well. Just someone in that midfield who, again, can do the position defensive-wise on his own, where Bruno Guimarães isn't really, a defensive midfielder. He's more so someone who can work alongside a defensive midfielder that, again, can defend when he has the reinforcement, but can go forward, control the tempo. That's his strength as well. Similar profile to Bruno Guimarães is, of course, Joao Kimmich, and plenty goal has come out saying that Joao Kimmich is allowed to leave Bayern Munich this summer for a suitable offer. Again, we've already talked about this on the channel. The difference is that he also confirmed that no offers have come in for Joao Kimmich as things currently stand, and the fact that Bayern Munich are open to let him go, I think is, a bit damaging on the player side as well. So wait and see what happens in regards to midfielder. Looking like, again, Mikel Merino is getting a lot of momentum. No new reports about him as of late, but he kind of started to fit the mold really well. Again, 25 million euros, same age as Joao Kimmich, and I think he's only a year older than Bruno Guimarães, but we'll wait and see how things do turn out in this regard. But again, it's one of the key positions where Barcelona need to make a signing this summer. Now, along with new summer signings, the club are also going to be looking at keeping some of their current players, as well as some of them are not really totally owned by Barcelona. Of course, I am referring to the two Joaos, Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo. Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that both Cancelo and Felix, as well as their agent Jorge Mendes, are optimistic about continuing at Barcelona. The club is working, and Hansi Flick has also validated having them in his team for next season. So again, the club are working on keeping both. Hansi Flick has given the green light to keep both of them as well. So now it just again comes down to negotiation and finding an agreement with Manchester City and Atletico Madrid, respectively. Now, on Joao Felix, he has been doing some speaking in the media as of late, I think with some big podcasts, and he was asked on his future with Barcelona. It's called the Nude Project, and he came out saying that I'm on loan and it's not going to depend on me. If it were up to me, I've already said I love Barcelona. It's always been the club of my childhood and I want to stay here, but we will see. So I don't really see the optimism in his words there. He was saying that I want to stay, I love the club, but again, it's not up to me. If I stay, great. If not, I'll have to look elsewhere. So again, with the two Joaos, again, it just comes down to the formula for me. I really don't mind keeping them. I think they've both just done enough next season where you can say, okay, you can go out there and try and keep them. Again, that's not the main thing for me. Try. We should not be going out there, main targets, spending, money on them and, wasting time with Man City and Atletico trying to get a deal over the line. You go out there, you offer your, best price. They take it, great. If not, you move on. I would maybe put a bit more incentive with Cancelo, maybe because, we're lacking some fullbacks, and the fullback market ain't really that great. With Felix, though, he plays on the left. You're going to bring in, hopefully, a left winger in maybe Diaz or Nico Williams, whoever the case may be. You have Ansu Fati coming back as well. You have Ferran Torres. There's options already there for the left wing spot. So keeping Felix is just kind of, on vibes, and I think mainly because João Laporta likes the player as well. And again, Hansi Flick so far has been nothing but a puppet to João Laporta. I mean, you should have seen him at the handball game yesterday. Bloody hell. So wait and see how things turn out with the two Joaos. Again, no real concrete news on what the offers are going to be and how Man City and Atletico Madrid portrayed those offers from Barcelona, or we're hearing that Barcelona really want to keep them, and more specifically on another loan. Again, basically the same formula as this season. So again, we'll see how things turn out as Barcelona try their best to keep the two Joaos for next season. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. We're going to be discussing the three players who Barcelona signed just last summer alone, and their futures that are looking more closely to the exit than they are staying in sunny Catalonia. Now, firstly, Romeu. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Romeu is set to leave Barcelona. We heard something, rumors over the past few days. Romeu has not asked to leave Barcelona. He wants to, talk to Hansi Flick. He wants to do training, see how things turn out. It's set in stone. Again, let's just talk to Girona, get a deal over the line, and get this over with as soon as possible. So again, Romeu very likely to leave Barcelona this summer. The next summer signing from last summer that could leave this summer is Iñigo Martínez. Fernando Podo of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that despite signing for 2 seasons, Iñigo Martínez was only registered for 1 season due to financial fair play. And with so many central defenders now in the squad, there is an internal debate about his continuity. He had Xavi's trust. He must be registered again this summer, and there are doubts at Barcelona. A decision must be made. In any case, Inigo wants to fulfill his contract, and he does not even consider leaving. If he's not registered, he will have the right to collect his entire salary. So again, whether or not we register and keep Inigo Martínez or not, we're going to pay him for the final year of his contract. Now, whether or not we can sell him or not remains to be seen. I mentioned this a lot on the channel. I'll say it again. I don't mind parting ways with Inigo Martínez. My only qualm is that you need to have a left-footed center back in the squad. Christensen is right-footed. Kounde is right-footed. Araujo is right-footed. Eric Garcia is right-footed if you want to count him in. Clement Lenglet is left-footed. McAlfay is left-footed. So from Clement Lenglet, Inigo Martínez, and McAlfay, the 3 left-footed center backs, you've got to keep one of them in my opinion. And of course, it's not going to be Lenglet, so it's between Inigo and McAlfay. Again, the club want to bet on McAlfay as I do have a lot of hope and promise for him. I don't mind that. You just have to have that option there because it will come in handy in a lot of key matches. 100%. We even saw that last season when Inigo came in. The difference he makes. Just the way the back line flows, just the way that it's easier to pass, because when you have a right-footed center back at the left center back spot, they have to turn their body a lot. They take an extra 2 or 3 touches to position themselves well to their right foot to ping the crosses on that left-hand side. So just having someone with that left foot is very, very beneficial. But the issue here again is that if we don't want to keep Inigo, he's not going to want to leave. So we're still going to pay him for his final year. So if we do let him go for free, he can join, let's say since he's from the Basque country, Real Sociedad for free. We're going to end up paying him for his contract and him playing and helping a La Liga rival. It's not really a great situation for Barcelona, but I understand it. So again, I think the best thing could be to maybe, for example, sell McAlfay, buyback option. Keep Inigo Martínez for the final year of his contract, let him go for free next summer, and then buy back McAlfay from wherever he's from if he does well. That could be an option as well. But keep your eyes on the future of Inigo Martínez. It's a very, very interesting situation. He's one of course, few first-team players who will be there on the first day of preseason, so that will be his moment and his opportunity to impress Hansi Flick. Now, the final summer signing from last summer that could leave this summer is İlkay Gundogan. Now, of course, he was awarded by myself the best player for Barcelona last season. I think a lot of you guys can agree with me that he was at least top 3, top 2 best Barcelona players over the course of the entire last season. Now, Tony Juan Martí has come out saying that Gundogan will have to earn his place under Hansi Flick again. The player has many strengths when he's in possession, but not many off the ball in terms of pressing, and that's of course very important for Hansi Flick. Now, I will say this, Gundogan did start a lot for Germany when Hansi Flick was the coach, so I think in the end it will work out. But again, it could become a strange option. We do have a lot of players who can, again, all-round play on paper are better than Gundogan, but with Gundogan playing so well last season, it'll be a bit disrespectful and a bit crazy to start him as a non-starter this upcoming season. But we'll wait and see on that. And the reason why I bring this up, of course, is because Gundogan's contract expires next summer in 2025. And Markov came out saying that İlkay Gundogan will stay at Barcelona this summer. The German wants to continue at least until June 2025 when his contract ends. Now, we do know that in Turkey, of course, Gundogan does have a Turkish background. That Galatasaray, they see Gundogan as their dream signing. And if they make an offer of somewhat decency to Barcelona this summer, things could change. Now, I'm talking decency, 20-30 million euro bids. Basically what we pay for Mikel Merino if we do, of course, end up signing him. Someone makes that kind of offer to Barcelona for Gundogan. It's tempting because not only do you have, enough midfielders in his position to, cover. You have Fermin Lopez, Pedri Gavi, Xavi Simons on loan would be a superb and unreal replacement. You, of course, have the Barca B players as well. Unai Hernandez who got a hat-trick the other day. You have Marc Bernal as well. You have Cancelo coming in. So a big offer for Gundogan with 1 year left on his deal. And, with Hansi Flick maybe not seeing him as a great option since off the ball and pressing he isn't the greatest, could open up some doors as well. So it's a very interesting situation, but of course, we'll wait and see how things do turn out. So again, Romeu, very likely to leave. I would say Iñigo Martínez, 50-50, maybe 51% leaning towards leaving Barcelona. I would say Gundogan unlikely, barring, a very decent offer from, the Turkish league, whether it be Besiktas or Galatasaray. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. But again, just shows you how poor the summer 2023 summer transfer window was, since the majority of those players that we signed are now on the brink and have all our options to leave this summer. Now, there are players at Barcelona whose futures are very much in doubt, and that can be classified under the Brazilian attacking duo. We do have some updates. Firstly, on Vitor Roque, with Cancelo de la Sport reporting that Juventus' new head coach, Thiago Motta, could be interested in signing Vitor Roque on loan. Now, of course, we talked about a few weeks ago that Vitor Roque wants to stay. Hansi Flick gave him the green light to stay, but if we cannot register him, we will look for a loan move elsewhere for him. Of course, if maybe he does not impress Hansi Flick during preseason, things potentially could change, and Juventus could be an option. Apparently, Juventus also want to sign Alvaro Morata as well. Who's their current striker? They do have Dusan Vlahovic, so I don't see Vitor Roque getting too much game time up front. Maybe he could be an option on the wing. I know Chiesa is definitely, his future at Juventus is in doubt. They could end up selling him. But again, you want him to play as that number 9 where his natural position is. So I think a move to Juventus isn't really the greatest. I think he'll have the same amount of game time if you stay at Barcelona. So it doesn't really have that much of an effect in my opinion. And again, it's still early for really to look for a move for Vitor Roque. So we'll see on that. The other Brazilian, of course, is Raphinha. We talked about him at the beginning of the video, and Tony Juan Marte came out saying that Barcelona will hear offers for Raphinha this summer. However, the player does want to stay. Now, how do we classify this? When Barcelona want to hear offers, does that mean we're gonna, accept 60 million euro bid for him? Are we gonna accept a 70 million euro bid for him? Or are we gonna, agree what we said from before in the higher echelon? The rumor about Raphinha has always been clear. It's never changed from this narrative. Barcelona will sell him for a good price. He's a player who is not untouchable. He's a player that Barcelona would like to keep, but has a price to sell. Very similar to, I would say, right now, Frankie de Jong. So if a price comes in for him, of course, we'll try to renew him. If not, he'll get shipped off. Andreas Christensen, he's a player that Barcelona want to keep, but has a price. Your Lamine Yamals, your Pedris, your Gavi, these are players that even if someone comes in and bids €1 billion for, the club will probably reject. But these are players that the club can have maneuver to kind of take advantage of a sale from this player, which again is part of business, is part of life. I would keep Raphinha. I think you look at the past 2 seasons, the only player to get double digits in both goals and assists has been Raphinha. Since Messi, he's the only one who's done it. So he's a player that I think has improved from last season, but still has some fairly lose games. I understand that, but he's still an effective winger and can still be a big asset to Barcelona. So for me, 80 million plus bid comes in, you want to accept it. I wouldn't rant and rage about it. I would be a bit disappointed because I think I like the player and I would continue on with him, but 80 million plus, also it is what it is. But then you look at the other side. If we sell Raphinha for less than 80 million, like 70, 60, God forbid 50s, what the F are we doing? What's the point? I mean, you're not going to really invest we don't need player sales. That money isn't really going to help you to bring in your 2 key players that you want to bring in to, improve the squad this summer. He's a player who has been very effective for Barcelona. He's been improving. He's a player that, of course, shows passion, desire on the pitch as well, shows that he cares, which, again, you can't really find in football nowadays. So it's really a dumb operation to sell, of course, under his market value, or even really at his market value. I think Raphinha's market value is around 70 million. So something above that or around that is where you're going to be aiming at. And what club is going to come in and pay that money for Raphinha? Although, besides from Saudi Arabia, which I don't think will really convince Raphinha, I really don't see a Premier League club bidding over 70 million for Raphinha to take him off Barcelona's hands. But we'll wait and see how things do turn out. Again, it's quite clear that Raphinha does have a price to sell at Barcelona. The real question is, what is that exact price? And also, how far are Barcelona ready to push Raphinha out as well? Now, with the financial fair play situation at Barcelona hopefully becoming more healthier than it is right now, the club are potentially planning to liquidate and terminate some players' contracts this summer to save time in the event they are able to do so. Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona trusts that they will be allowed to liquidate players who do not count on paying them what they are owed, but without the impact on the club's financial fair play. So your players, for example, like Clement Lenglet, like Serginho Dest, these players that are difficult to sell but are just annoying. Maybe some other players as well could be an option, like Romeu. If we can't really find an agreement with Girona, just let him go for free, liquidate his contract. This would be a fantastic option, and also will save Barcelona months and months of hassle, and will save us money as well, because if Longlet comes back, July the 1st, we're going to be paying him his wages from July the 1st until probably mid-August, so he finds a loan move and pisses off. That's going to cost Barcelona a lot of money, so might as well just pay some, some of that money up front and get rid of him permanently, save on negotiations, save on, the hassle of trying to loan him or sell him as well. I think this would be a great move. I think it's also time that we start doing this as well. I'm sick of the death of holding on to these players for the, until the damn near end of the transfer window and then getting rid of them. It just wastes his time and doesn't really make sense anyway. So hopefully this will be the case. We'll wait and see how things do turn out. But again, the club do have in mind to liquidate some contracts in the event financial fair play allows it. Now, along with the exit rumors, we also have some rumors in regards to Barcelona players staying at the club, with a lot of quotes coming in from different areas as well. Now, firstly, on Andreas Christensen, Luis Rojo of Marca came out saying the idea of the club is to keep Andreas Christensen, although they are fully aware of what they could get financially from his sale as he arrived for free. The player himself wants to stay at the club as well. So, barring an outrageous offer, Christensen will end up staying. I think that is the correct decision in that regards. Now, for the next defender at Barcelona who has played alongside Christensen quite a few times, it is Jules Kounde. Now, he did some interview with La Parisienne speaking about his time with the club, how he trains and stuff like that. I don't want to go through all of it. I do want to highlight the first part that he mentions. He's asked about his Barcelona future, and he said, "I am one of the leaders of Barcelona, also in the dressing room, and above all, I'm a reliable player. This is perhaps one of the things that I am most proud of this season. Apart from the time Xavi injured my knee when he accidentally fell on me, I haven't had any physical problems to complain about, and I'm very proud of that because it's a result of hard work." I love how he emphasized how he got injured, because that's again how he got injured. It wasn't from natural play or anything like that. It's because Xavi fell on his knee, and that's why it got injured. He also talked about how he's based a lot on hard work and only some talent, how he stays motivated, and how people care about his dress sense, which again, it's whatever, but Kounde making it very clear that he wants to stay, and I think he's a player that we should be keeping 1,000,000,000%, and I hope he does have a really, really good Euros. That way the Barcelona can open their eyes a bit to realize how much of an important player he is. Absolute elite, and there's no need to sell him, of course, again, for the millionth time, barring an outrageous offer. Now, in regards to players stay, we also have some renewal updates as well on players vocalizing their opinion on wanting to stay and renew their contract with Barcelona, and that being the Barca Athletic captain Marc Casado, following their bid win against Ibiza, I think 5-3 it was, at the Johan Cruyff Stadium the other day. He came out speaking about his after the game, and he asked about his renewal. He said that, what, we are on the same page, both the club and I. We are finishing discussing final things, but that aren't important. We believe that the best thing for me and for both of us is to keep wearing this jersey for a long time. So again, he confirmed that the renewal talks are advanced, that they're on the right side of him continuing Barcelona, and that should be finalized hopefully within the next few days. Again, right now it is focused. I think they're playing Malaga, I believe it is, in the playoff final to get promotion. So that's going to be his main focus as things currently stand. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. And the final update, saying on the renewal side, is on Araujo, with Tony Juan Martin reporting that around Araujo's future will be decided in the coming days in a meeting between the club and the Uruguayan's representative. So watch out for those Gigantes videos of, Araujo's agents coming to Barcelona and stuff like that, because once that happens, that there's going to be a meeting taking place. So at some point this week, the club will meet with the representatives of Araujo to hopefully put an end and decide what his future is. Of course, if he says he wants to stay, you'll have probably a few weeks of negotiations and stuff like that. Or if he says that he wants to leave and does not want to stay at Barcelona, you're going to see Barcelona put him on the market, offer him to different clubs, and see who bites really. So that's going to be a big, big moment this week. So keep your eyes on that, along, of course, with the new kit announcement. So a big week ahead for Barcelona, and a lot of big news and big reports should be coming out as well. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. First, we do have an update on Alejandro Balde, where according to Sport, Balde is already in the final stages of his recovery, and now he is on track to be 100% fully fit, ready to go for the start of preseason. Again, preseason should be starting in about a month today. So again, if he's in the final stages, he has about a month now to fully rehab, fully recover, and hopefully he'll be fully fit, ready to go for that. So watch out for preseason Balde, because he might be absolutely fuego. And the final update we do have is on Frankie de Jong. Now, the Dutch media have been doing their press ahead of the Euros. Frankie de Jong was, speaking to the media, came out saying that my ankle is doing well, and I hope I will be there for the first game of the Euros, but right now it is looking good. Ronald Koeman also confirmed that yesterday Frenkie de Jong completed his first training session with the group. He also joined with the 11v11 game. He didn't go into duels per se, but in the coming days, we'll make sure that he does end up doing that. So he had his first full training session completed with Netherlands yesterday after he joined, I believe, a week ago. So Koeman also confirmed that everyone in the Dutch squad is fit, apart from Frenkie de Jong. So again, looks like he will be on track to be at least available for the first game. Whether or not he starts or not remains to be seen. So of course, that's good news for Frenkie de Jong. Good news for Barcelona as well. Hopefully he's not risking himself per se with that chronic ankle injury, which Barcelona are worried about. But again, only time will tell in that regards. Now, the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to Barcelona's salary cap, FFP, where this week is going to be the time. So you have, of course, Araujo meeting. You're going to have everything in regards to FFP and, of course, the new kit as well. So a big week for Barcelona. Fernando Porto from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona expect to know this week what the situation will be regarding the salary cap they can use for the upcoming transfer market. Additionally, within the club, they are eagerly awaiting some kind of measure from La Liga to ease the salary tension for the clubs as well. So not only do Barcelona hope to return the 1-1 rule and have everything in place, they also hope that La Liga will be a bit more lenient with their salary margin as well. So everything leading to the positive side. Let's just hope that in the end that is the case. Also, again, Javier Tebas spoke in the media about Barcelona. He has asked about Barcelona returning to the 1-1 rule. Said it will depend on some issues they have to do. They tell us that they are doing well and we are waiting for an agreement that will help them a lot. Maybe some way out, but they know what they have to do. I see and I hope and I wish for them to enter the 1-1 rule this summer. So everything being communicated to the La Liga president, to the media, as well as that Barcelona have everything in place, just now down to execution, and hopefully that is the case. But again, this week, barring all those implications as well, Barcelona will know what their salary cap is for the summer. So it's going to be really, really good or really, really bad, and that's, we'll have to wait and see. That's going to be very, very, very interesting. Now, finally, of course, in regards to salary cap, the Nike renewal will be very, very important, which hopefully will be announced in the next few days. Of course, this Thursday, the new home kit will be announced and revealed, so maybe sometime before that or on that day, the club will announce the renewal with Nike. But of course, before renewing with Nike, they were exploring all their options. Now, Mundo Deportivo came out saying that in the tense period with Nike, Barcelona came really close to using a private brand shirt with Hummel as a supplier as they tested out the fabric with 4 players. The players, one a goalkeeper, 3 outfield players, tested the kit to see if they were comfortable. The goalkeeper even used it during a training session. In this option, the shirts would have been produced without the Hummel logo. It was also going to be a private brand for Barcelona, but now, of course, a new historic deal with Nike is expected to be announced very soon. So it looks like Hummel was the closest option after Nike, besides from Puma and New Balance and Adidas, that the club was going to be their own manufacturer, producing their own kits. They even had some of the players and goalkeepers tested out to see if the kit was, at adequate level, comfortability, breathability as well. But in the end, of course, that Nike deal will be getting done over the line. So again, let's see what happens over the next week. Again, there's a lot of things that Barcelona need to do to get to the 1-1 rule, but again, those lot of things are so easy to execute because they're all just so advanced. Whether it's Barcelona Visage sale, the Nike deal, announced at this point, so everything's in place, and hopefully Barcelona can in fact return to the 1-1 rule by the end of this month. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, some of your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to first say, of course, is your thoughts on the left wing signing. Who would you prefer to sign, Luis Diaz or Nico Williams? And would you, sell Raphinha in that result of signing Luis Diaz? Second, your thoughts on the Joao staying. How would you want to keep them? Would you keep both of them, neither of them, or one of them? Third, your thoughts on Barcelona looking to offload 3 of their summer signings from last summer as well. Of course, besides on Romeu, your thoughts on Inigo and Gundogan's future. And finally, your thoughts in regards to financial fair play. Do you think that Barcelona in the end will in fact return to the 1-1 rule or not? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barça.
Yeah.